don't get it. The Leafs, took it to the Panthers. They won, and I'm still kind of mad. That's because it's still in your system. What's still in my system? That is pure, unfiltered, unadulterated, grade A hatred, my friend. Well, I'm going to be the only one brave enough to say it. Oh. I do not care for the Florida Panthers. Oh my goodness. Drew, can we censor that or something? Gee. Let's go! It starts with an A and ends with anxiety. Off the charts levels of passion! That's just a nightmare! With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Sorry, cats, this one's going to the dogs. Victory, puppies! A Leafs win means $50 to the Humane Society of Durham Region. I don't know what to do with my body during victory puppies anymore. I'm sorry. Let's talk about the game, but first, let's talk about a game that I love, and that is NHL Fantasy Stars. It's got the purple little icon on the App Store. You can download it. I did that a year ago, and I have loved it. Now, when you open the app, you'll see a picture of Brad Marchand in a Panthers jersey. I promise you it gets better after that. The season has obviously been underway for months, but it's weekly competition, so you can join at any time. And you can play against other fans who started at the same time. Because there's levels to this. Specifically, there's leagues to this. I started down in the minors, that's the first league, then you move up to rookie, pro, veteran, Dangle, and I'm actually all the way up in Selly. I was in beauty last week, but then I got demoted. And I'm not gonna let that happen again! I have a really good team. I'm strong on the wings, I'm strong on D, weak up the middle. So we're gonna spend some coins and open up a couple center packs. Mason McTavish, that's not a bad one. Chandler Stevenson, I think we can do a little bit better than that. Brock Nelson, good player on the terrible Colorado Avalanche, losers of back-to-back games. One more pack. Vinny Trocheck has been really underrated. He's super good in this app. He lays a lot of hits. Mark Scheifele is good. I already have both those guys, but I'm going to put them on the marketplace and get 2,400 coins. The top league is the NHL FS Cup, and I plan on getting there, and that is my goal. Download the app today and add me as a friend. Steve Dangle, all one word. I'm the guy who's not getting demoted this week. Anyway, NHL Fantasy Stars, download it today. Now, let's talk about this game. First few shifts, Florida kind of taking it to Toronto. I'm concerned because this is a really underratedly weird lineup tonight. No Jake McCabe, and he's been the backbone of their decor this season. Obviously no Tanev already. That's your entire shutdown pair from when these teams played against each other in the playoffs. But, and this is a little bit of luck, just as Jake McCabe goes down, hopefully only for a week, Brandon Carlo rejoins the team. And I gotta tell you, he was playing some awful hockey when he went down with injury. He looked great. We just didn't know that at the time. Oh, and still no William Nylander. He's over a week now on the day-to-day. That's not how day-to-day works, but we've been through this. After the first few shifts, the Leafs got it back. And a memo went out, and I don't know who sent it, but everybody read it. I think it started with Max Domi and Aaron Ekblad going at it, a little bit of chippy stuff, a late hit, sort of, kind of, and then they fight. These two hate each other. Domi did kind of drill him in the face when he was a member of the Montreal Canadiens. Turns out, people remember those things. After that tilt, which was a lot of hugging, but there were some shots thrown, Nick Waugh sent out the memo. He starts laying body after body after body, and everyone followed suit. This was easily the most intense game of the season so far. Easily. Definitely the most physical. I don't know what game this season the Leafs played in that had the most hits, but also hits are one of the worst track stats in the world. But it's not just hits, it's board battles. It's fighting for every inch. Look at this. It says the hits were 31 for Florida, 21 for the Leafs. No, they weren't. And even if that hit's right, the hits were way more aggressive and violent. These two teams hate each other. And even though both teams have had difficulty getting in and staying in the playoff conversation in the Eastern Conference, both teams have every intention of being there in the spring and going through each other by any means necessary. That's how you got to play it. That's how you have to look at it when these two teams play each other, regardless of where you're at in the standings. First of all, you should be fighting even harder because you need these points. Both of you. If you're the Florida Panthers, you play with this intensity every night. You're the reigning Stanley Cup champions. You are the flag bearers of the league. And if you're a Leaf and you can't get out of bed for a Florida Panthers matchup, you don't need to be a Leaf anymore. And in one of the most satisfying sequences of the entire season so far, hit after hit after hit in the Leaf zone, and the puck comes the other way. Started by Nick Waugh, who's led the physical force of this game since the opening minutes. He gets it to Nick Robertson, who's in there like a bolt of lightning. We know Robertson's shot can be a kiss of death. His playmaking has become much better. He sends a beautiful pass to Easton Cowan for the tap-in. Cowboy rides again for his 5th of the season, and the Leafs lead after 1. Now, what this team has done at times is wilted somewhat at the beginning of periods. Especially ones where you're coming out fat and happy, right? Like you have the lead. You should be happy. Who's going to play more hungry? You or them? Definitely not you. That's not how they played this at all. Opening minute, Matias Maccelli with the puck sends it in off the end boards and back to himself directly in front of the net. Now he's not able to bury it, but John Tavares gets a hold of it. Troy Stecher gets a hold of it. There's beef in front of the net! And Stetcher's shot is tipped beautifully by Matthew Nyes 2-0. The Leafs score just 42 seconds into the second period, and it's 2 goals in 1 minute and 6 seconds of actual gameplay going back to the first period. All right, 2-0 lead, you're at home, sit back. Now, all gas, no brakes! Maccelli helped organize the Nyes goal, but didn't get an assist for it. He got one on this one. That's the secondary, and it's not the most noteworthy assist on this play, because Matthew Nyes sends behind the back filth to Austin Matthews, who scores in his 3rd straight game! 6 goals in his last 3 games. He scored in 4 of the last 5 games. Austin, you don't want to use the B word, but it's there waiting to be used. Oh, screw it. You only live once. Back! Why, what did you think it was going to say? He's now tied with Tage Thompson and Dylan Genther for 16th in NHL goal scoring, and he's played less game than both those dudes. 7 fewer than Genther, 5 fewer than Tage. Only 2 guys in the top 18 in NHL goal scoring have played fewer than 40 games. It's Austin and Tyler Bertuzzi, who can either stay and be an important part of that Blackhawks rebuild or get traded for the sun, moon, and most of the planets. Throw in Pluto, but you can keep Uranus. Anyway, the Leafs are up 3-0, but remember all that chippy stuff? Well, it didn't exactly stop, did it? But the worst one, the most egregious one, the most uncalled one was Eetu Luostarinen hitting Scott Laughton right in the numbers from behind. I know this is a screenshot, and you can't tell a lot from a screenshot. You can tell a little bit from this screenshot. Also, go back and watch the video. It's worse. But it's okay, because the Leafs power play would get to rest, because there wouldn't be one, because this league isn't. It just isn't. Every NHL commercial should say, the NHL, we aren't. It's not a league. It's not even sort of a little bit of league. The next penalty in the game would be Morgan Riley for tripping, which happened like moments after. Because of course. I don't know what you expected. Now here are some fancy stats that you don't need to be a real stat nerd to understand. The Leafs kicked the Panthers up and down the ice for the first 40 minutes of this game. They dominated them. Did that continue in the 3rd period? Oh man. No, the Panthers outshot the Leafs 19-6 in the 3rd period. Joseph Woll had to be sharp, and the only one that made it by him was a weird one, Carter Verhaeghe with a bank job, with kind of a lot of time left in the game, and it made me nervous. But even though the 3rd period wasn't exactly a banner period for the Leafs, they held the fort, and it was largely because of the play of Scott Laughton, playing with fire and rage in his eyes and blood running down his nose from, the hit from behind that you're not allowed to do, except you are, because you're a Florida Panther. Good for you. And he wasn't the only casualty of this game. Bobby McMahon was running around all night. He ended up taking out Brad Marchand by the looks of it. Almost took out Balinskis too. I couldn't believe he got up from that. He hit him in the numbers too. It was just the numbers on his shoulder, which is allowed until Colin Campbell says it isn't. We'll find out tomorrow. And speaking of McMahon, he gets the empty netter. The Leafs get the win. It was 4-1, and it stayed that way. Again, questions. This isn't questions. This is just Jesse Blake, who was a reporter for this game, talking to Scott Laughton and Craig Berube about the hit on Scott Laughton. Scott Laughton, on what the refs told him on the non-call on the Luostarinen hit. They said, I saw him coming, which I did, but I don't know. I gotta watch a replay. Oh, okay. Craig Berube on the non-call on the hit on Laughton. That's a penalty. They call that 95% of the time, but they didn't call it that time, and that's whatever. I mean, I'm not going to complain about it. That's all right, Craig. That's the right answer. You shouldn't complain about it. I can, though! Boo! This league stinks! There have been 4 hearings all year long for a suspension. Mikko Rantanen would make it 5, but he didn't have a hearing. It was an automatic suspension. So George Parros has only been responsible for 80% of the suspensions in the NHL. 20% have simply been automatic. Like, he didn't even have to set his alarm. He didn't have to get out of bed. He didn't have to brush his teeth. Just don't even worry. It's an automatic suspension. Have your assistant craft that email, send it to Mikko, and be done with it. Don't worry, George. You don't have to do any work today. Oh, here's a question from J Money. Yes, should every team try to hire Gregory Campbell to get preferential treatment from the league? Is there a price tag on that level of influence? Wait, what are you talking about? Gregory Campbell? Oh, you mean Gregory Campbell, who's the assistant general manager of the Florida Panthers. Wait, why is he important? Oh, that's the son of Colin Campbell, who's the executive vice president and VP of hockey operations for the National Hockey League. Oh, that's the guy who was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2024, even though he had a massive scandal years before where it was caught under subpoenaed emails that he was calling players like Mark Savard a fake artist and also accosting referees who did not officiate his son's games right. If you want a little extra level of spice, big reason why this got out there was because of the work of a blogger named Tyler Dello, who is no longer a blogger. He is the assistant GM of the Carolina Hurricanes. Oh yeah, all you youngins right now watching this and learning that for the first time, old hockey Twitter was messy. And now all those dudes have jobs. Crazy. Anyway, to answer your question, yes, the Leafs should use their financial might to hire Gregory Campbell away from the Florida Panthers so that they can start getting preferential treatment. I'm not kidding. No, I'm as much as 20% kidding. I'm mostly saying, yeah, no, you should give him a lot of money. I will answer your question with a question of my own. When his emails were subpoenaed, Colin Campbell was found to have complained to refs about the way his son's games were officiated, and he was not fired for it, did not suffer any public consequence for it. So I guess my question is, what makes you think he stopped? What makes you think he stopped? You think he stopped? Maybe. We'll never know. Unless his emails get subpoenaed again, or he got smart and he stopped sending blatantly corrupt emails. And even if he did continue to send those emails, what's he got to worry about? What happened last time? He got inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame! The man should have lost his job on the spot! All that to say, nothing's happening to Luostarinen. If a Leaf did what Luostarinen did, what would the punishment be? I'm gonna say 2 games. Because it's funny, because it would be the longest suspension of this season. That's true, by the way. It's January. The longest suspension is 1 game. It might get topped tomorrow. We'll see. And last non-sarcastic one, are we blessed with our very own Forsling with Stetcher? Now, Troy Stetcher has been the light of our lives since the Leafs got him off waivers from the Edmonton Oilers. However, Gus Forsling is lofty. Gus Forsling was a guy the Panthers acquired when he was very young in his career, entering his prime, and he has turned into one of the more reliable D-men in the league and in their lineup. How many guys going to the Olympics this year are former waiver claims? I'm willing to bet the list isn't long, but you can just say, good gosh darn, is Troy Stetcher the best waiver claim the Leafs have made in a very, very long time. Easily their best one since Curtis McElhinney, and obviously he was a goalie. I'm trying to think of the best defensive claim off of waivers since I have no idea, but I love him. This I know. So my friends, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell your friends if you want to know more about the Colin Campbell story that I was talking about. Steve, I need more details than that. Don't worry. Link in the description down below.